Good morning.
Hello. We have so many good mornings. We are behind because we're late. We're 2 minutes late.
Yes, we are. But you're how many states away?
A
A
couple.
lot. Yeah.
I'm a couple. I'm a couple states
Yeah.
away.
And
I'm
it's
a
what,
3 hour
8 o'clock
red
in the
light.
morning by you, right?
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock here, so I'm two
Yeah.
hours behind you right now. Um, which means when we were starting to, roll around and get up, and we both at times will be up anywhere. He's up earlier than I am, but between like 6 and 8. And we're like, oh, it's got to be about. And I go, what time is it? He's like, it's 3:30 in the morning here. I'm like, yeah, nothing's happening.
Yeah. Not time.
So hey, thanks for coming out to the winery. So how many other people came out and saw us? It was a fun event.
It was. It was a nice evening, and it turned out pretty nice.
And the rain waited until later that evening, as it
Perfect.
should.
Perfect. Perfect.
Woo Woo Wednesday, it definitely is. Um, let's see here. And we had an episode released this morning. So if anybody's listened to that and have questions, feel free to ask. Um, and we were a couple minutes late because we were talking about an episode that will be coming up that we actually recorded Monday. Do we want to give away details, or do we want to surprise everybody?
Just tease them a little.
There's a very famous hotel out here. And we recorded walking around that hotel and seeing what Marianne could get. If you were lucky enough to catch it while it was happening, then you know where we were, because it was up on Twitch while it was going on. And then I pulled it down. So Melanie caught it. So I have not had time yet to sit down and edit that one. Um, Not currently there, but was there. Um, so there that one's going to take a little more editing than normal because their Wi-Fi has something to be desired, and at times I got too close to certain places and go standing in hallways, and it would just kind of bring everything down. So I have some dead spaces that I have to go in there and cut out and kind of feed back into one another.
Well, it's hard too walking around holding a camera to try to take pictures of ghosts and not trip as you're going up and down steps. So
Right. Holding it without the whole screen doing
that's right,
this.
because it's like, oh my God, I'm getting car sick.
And I'm usually that person. I have to look at the steps as I'm going up and down, or I will fall on them. So trying to keep the iPad steady, not fall down the stairs, dodging other people, because at times while we were walking the hallways, people were coming and going into their rooms.
Well, there were
And
a lot of live people in there too.
I was surprised for a Monday how busy that hotel was.
Yeah, there was a lot of energy in that place.
Yeah, so we'll try and work on that one. So maybe in between the one that went out today, which is part one of a two-part theater series, if we want to throw that Stanley, or we just make it wait 2 weeks.
To
But
you, whatever.
oh, well, I'm gonna chalk it up to Wi-Fi.
That's right, and I'm glad you said it, Brooke, and not me.
But it's nice to say that we came and we saw, we experienced. Don't know if
Why do I think the ghosts that we found aren't going to be the ghosts that they talk about on their tour?
No.
Yeah.
All of the names that they were mentioning on the tour are not any of the ones that I have written down from you. And when I asked the HR or asked around, and they said, you got to get a hold of HR and they're probably not going to tell you. And I'm like, well, these people are long dead. They're not like they just died last week. And they're like, they're not going to tell you. And I'm like,
right. You would be luckier or have more luck finding somebody that has been working there for years and years and years that would have a memory of some of these people. Not anybody new. They wouldn't have a clue.
Right. Well, I'm seeing like our tour guide. She had only been there, I think she said like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So the people that we interacted with were newer. So the names that we got had died before, they were ever in there.
Yes.
So, but it'll be a fun one to edit and put together. But I think I will have to put like a little preamble in the beginning, like, just so you know, this is an active working business. You're going to hear background noise of, people coming and going. The ginormous freaking grandfather clock that was just like chiming 6 through the whole freaking hotel.
Right.
And I never did found where that was coming from. Like,
well, it had to be somewhere. Right.
Yeah. And I'm like, there's got to be speakers or something. I never found
right.
That. So did anybody listen to the podcast this morning? So that's part 1 of a 2-part series going up. So Marianne, maybe you, or let me go back and see if I missed the first part of Sue's question. Oh, Sue, Emily listened to it and can't wait for part 2. It's a different Sue. It says, I am sure Philip will escort Elizabeth into the white light. I am sure she is proud of the ceremony activities of her services. By chance, Marianne, have you managed to see Elizabeth's earthbound spirit, or do you think she already went into the white light?
I believe she went into the light. And I'll tell you what almost makes me 100% sure is the double rainbow. I think that when she finally saw Philip, that was her. 96 years old. She was working 2 days before she died. I think she was really tired and just needed to go. And I'll tell you something else. I don't think she's real happy. I don't think she likes all the discord with the family and everybody. There's so many people that don't like Camilla, and then there's so many people that don't like Meghan. And I don't think that was in her makeup I think she was very, very smart and, but I just don't think she really enjoyed that. I think she just wanted her family to just be nice and peaceful, and never the way it is.
Hey, Sandy.
I don't know.
I'm one of those people, like, I never got into the whole British royal, like, I don't care. It doesn't affect where I live, what I do. There was a whole other group of people that were actually doing the laws and stuff. I'm like, I don't care. And I forget who it was, but they sent me a TikTok thing about talking to their son about how the queen died just the other day. And the son's like, Betty White died a few months ago. Like, that's right. She's the real queen. Nobody cares. Oh, right. Well, if you are new and joining us, and if you have questions about earthbound spirits, negative energy, portals, fairies, what else, Marianne? What can we pick your brain about that maybe we haven't already?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you probably found every nook and cranny. So I don't know. I wanted to show you, especially now with fall and the rain and the leaves coming down, the mushroom circles will be happening. Look at this mushroom circle. Stay out of it. Don't go inside of it. Whatever you do, if you have to take it down with the lawnmower, go in from the outside. Don't walk through it.
So don't go, haha, step in the middle and then put the lawnmower down and go.
That's right. No, that won't be a good thing.
I'm not afraid of your little mushroom circle.
Right.
And that's a really good picture of that mushroom circle. Was
Mhm.
that one somebody sent in to you, or is that?
No, it was in I'm not even sure what this is. It was Do You Dare Enter a Fairy Ring? The Mythical Mushroom Portals of the Supernatural. Don't agree with everything they had to say, but this picture was a good picture. So
I mean, yeah, because some of the ones I've seen, you can tell that there's a circle intended, but it's not always filled in.
all filled in yet. And there is some empty spaces in this one too, here and over this way. But
Hmm.
for the main part, you know that is a circle, and that's a good size circle.
Yeah, yeah, that's not like a little bitty.
No, 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 no.
Sandy wants to know what happens if you step inside the circle.
It's almost like you'll have a really bad day. It's not negative energy on you, but whatever the energy is that they put on you, I mean, talk about tripping over your own feet and not having a good day. It's that's their personal private. It's like, do you want somebody sitting next to you when you're figuring out your checkbook? No, they don't want anybody in their circle when they're doing their thing. And that when they do circles like that, they are having some kind of ceremonies. And they don't want people in there that aren't one of them. They're pretty particular about who belongs in there and who doesn't.
Heather says, I had a mushroom circle in my backyard and my metal detector went nuts at that location. I never did find anything down there though. Almost like the Fae folks sent me on a wild goose chase.
Yeah, they're tricksters. You are absolutely correct. I never heard that about a metal detector. Huh. Ted has one. I have to try that.
To go find you one.
Yeah.
Renee says, I used to always jump into the mushroom circles as a kid. Does that mean the fairies have it in for me?
They probably took your age into consideration. I think they're actually more at odds with adults than they are children.
Mm. I can relate to this. Says, I always thought the mushroom circle was a Smurf village. And Karen says, I'll go with the Smurf village.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody's ever seen a blue fairy. Because aren't the Smurfs all blue?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, there's only one lady Smurf, right?
Well, there was Smurfette for the longest time, and then I don't remember, but somehow then these little kid Smurfs showed up, and I think one of Sassette was the little girl Smurf.
You
So
even you actually knew their names.
some of them. I watched the Smurfs a lot as a kid. I tried to go back and watch them as an adult, and I'm like, how did I like this so much? But
I've
I
never
remember.
watched a Smurf anything in my whole life.
Uh,
I don't even think my girls watched the Smurfs when they were little. If they were even on then, I don't even know when they were on.
80s, early mid 80s, I think.
Oh, they would have been right. I don't know if my girls ever watched them or not.
Brooke watched them too.
Oh, of course. This could account for a whole lot.
Hey. um, yeah, Karen's still an avid Smurfette.
Really?
Yes, and Brooke can confirm Smurfette and Sassette.
Oh, there you go.
And
Nothing like
Swifty loved the
backup.
Smurf too.
Look at that. Oh gosh. Okay.
Do the fairies get mad if animals step in to the circle?
It's very interesting. If you watch a dog and a cat around a circle, dogs don't care. They'll just, they'll chase their tail right through it. They don't care. Cats, you will never see a cat inside of a circle. Never.
Maybe because it's not a box shape. If it was box shaped, maybe they would then.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the energy in there is just because cats are one of their big enemies.
Mm. They are. You say they don't like cats very much. And there's all those memes where the cats have the fairies hanging out of their mouths.
Well, I've never seen that, but I mean, cats catch little rodents and bugs and flies and that kind of stuff. And if you've got a little tiny sprite about an inch and a half tall, it's nothing for a cat to, chomp that right in two. So,
Mm-hmm. Wendy asks if they don't want anyone in the circle, do they do anything to anyone who destroys one?
centuries ago, the folklore was that if you stepped into it, you disappeared for X amount of time, and when you came out, you were almost always put into, as they called it, a lunatic bin. So I don't know. I don't know. I've never heard of anybody in modern times disappearing in a but I think that was what I think they wanted to scare people to stay out of them, and that's what they did.
Vicky says, I saw a hummingbird yesterday. Not a ghost or mushroom related, but so fun. She thought they had already migrated.
Oh gosh, yeah. I hope people stop feeding them so that they can get on their way. There should be no hummingbird feeders anywhere out now after the last of August, because they need to get on their way, because you're certainly not going to be putting food out there when it's 20 degrees below zero.
Right. Can fairies die?
Why not? I would assume that they can. I don't know. I've never seen a ghost of anything like that, so I would have no clue.
Oh, Brooke says the new Disney game Dreamlight Valley has a hidden fairy ring made of stones. And she was thinking maybe it was a Tinkerbell thing.
Oh. Huh. Well, stones aren't mushrooms, and there's your difference. Mushrooms are fungus. Mushrooms are living where a stone is not living. So I think that's probably what the difference would be.
I wonder if they were trying to maybe correlate or combine the whole mushroom circle and like a stone.
I don't even see why Disney would even go there with that. They're all fun and games and let's be, happy. I don't think I don't know. I don't know why they would do that.
I'm sure that ring is either a save point for the game or takes you into the next level or something.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
Tara said they did not watch the Smurfs.
Oh, okay. One of my daughters reached her father and said that her and her sister did not watch the Smurfs. I didn't think they did. I don't know.
Poodle Pants says, do you think the queen is happy with the way the family is handling her passing?
I think she's probably really glad she's with Philip.
Read between the lines.
I think that there's so many people in that family in the firm that aren't in the firm anymore that have caused and are causing so many problems, let alone her own children. I would, like I said, I think she was just so tired. She just needed to go.
Let's see. Sandy asks, what do you know about changelings? Are they real?
I think they can be. I don't know how active they are or how active, they are in that area, but I imagine that they probably do exist also.
And Natalie asks, are leprechauns and trolls nasty creatures?
Thanks. Absolutely. They are not nice, especially to animals and children. Both of them. They love to scare them. Leprechauns are so mean. They are just so mean. It's amazing. And they're so cute. I just don't understand how they can be so mean.
Well, Karen says she's got to start all over again with her fairy solution. She missed a day. She's got to put a sticky note on her forehead to not miss her day anymore.
Oh, I'm so sorry. After you've done it all, golly. Try to do it on a full moon because that's once a month, or try to do it when you make your car payment or your house payment. Just try to think of something that you're going to remember every time. And keep this in mind too. Remember, you have to do that solution for 6 months. So it is, it's September now. In December, are you going to be out of town visiting some relatives when it's that time? It doesn't have to be you that does it, but the ceremony, the solution still needs to be put on. So if you're not going to be there, don't miss that time. Have a friend come to the house and do it for you so you don't have to start over again.
Dylan asks, are Earthbounds able to see each other, and would they meet up and congregate places just to hang out? Or what do Earthbounds do all day?
No, absolutely not. The only ones that hang out together, now we're going to have exceptions here, but the ones that always hang out together are Earthbound spirits of children. Children, whether they're alive or dead. And adults, not so much. I mean, you could have 2 or 3 in a house and you think they'd sit around at night and play pinochle or poker or something, and they do not. They don't even stay in the same room as each other. And now we have the other exception of the hotel. They were congregated together, but all the energy from that place, because of how many live people were there, I think that makes the difference. In a normal house, you don't have 300-400 people running around. So I think that makes the difference. But normally they do not hang out together. When you finally get this podcast on this, it was really curious because there was a couple of the ghosts that I found that were husband and wives, which surprised me. But
they were even separated. Like the husband was on the landing and she was downstairs, so they weren't even next to one another.
Yeah, but they were in the same proximity of one another, which they never do in a real house. So,
well, I'll have to see when this releases a map layout, because the Stanley is part of Estes Park. And on the grounds are 2 or 3 bars / restaurants. They were packed, and the playhouse. So those things are always going on. So there is plenty, for these ghosts to be getting their energy from.
And again, think about this. That was a Monday night. Usually hotels are dead on Monday, Tuesday nights. Everybody's leaving and getting ready to come in from Wednesday on.
Yeah. I was really surprised. I kind of thought it was going to be quieter. But when we, were pulling in and looking for parking, we ended up having to park kind of in the little dirt area slightly down and walk up, and just the amount of cars and the amount of people and walking into the front lobby and just the people. And I'm like, holy shit, we are here on the right day, right?
Yeah, like I said, that surprised me. The one time we were there, they weren't allowing anybody inside. I don't remember why, but standing on the outside of the building, I never saw anything. I never felt anything there. But it was 10 o'clock in the morning and hardly nobody was there. Some cars were parked around. So I was pretty surprised. I didn't think we were going to find that many.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Let's see. Melanie's asking why the fairies and the leopard, why are they so mean to children and animals?
I don't know. I don't know if they're their size. Of course, not for a troll, because trolls can be big. But most trolls are not bigger than, say, if you remember the Addams Family, Cousin It. He wasn't very big. And most trolls are not, they're about that size, 3.5 feet. I don't know and kids are easy to scare. And when kids are scared, They upset the parents. It's a big, let's see how much we can aggravate this house. And they just go at it. They really do. That one house, I'm not kidding you. Those little creeps, that poor little girl in that room, I just couldn't believe what went on with that little girl. The mom would hear, when you have kids, I don't care, and they're young, parents don't sleep sound. You're sleeping, but one ear is always listening.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady had 3 children. All 3 children had their own bedrooms, fairly large house. And the youngest one was about 4. And she heard her whimpering in the middle of the night. And she got up and she went to walk into her bedroom. And in the doorway, the door was open, but in the doorway, on the base on the floor, all rolled up in a ball, was her spread. On top of that was her blanket. On top of that were her sheets. On top of that was her pillowcase. On top of all of that, because she was only 4 and I did it, I don't know how many moms did that, but accidents happen. So the twin bed mattress was in one of those plastic zipper things. So in case she had an accident, it wouldn't hurt the mattress. That was off the mattress, rolled up on the top. She pushed it down and walked in there. Here's this little girl sleeping on her naked mattress with her arm under her face, and she was cold and she was whimpering.
Oh.
She could not imagine how a 4-year-old could do all that. She walked into the other 2 bedrooms. They were sound asleep, and they were like 6 and 8. One 6-year-old trying to do something like that would sound like the house was coming down, for heaven's sakes. How does a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, or an 8-year-old lift up a mattress and take off the mattress cover? That happened 3 weeks in a row. And she would sit there in a rocking chair at night to make sure she was okay. They ended up bringing her into their bedroom. So they decided to change bedrooms around. When they pulled her dresser out, because they were going to let her have her own dresser in the other bedroom, when they pulled her dresser out, there was a picture that the little girl had drawn that looked like a log with eyes and hairy. That was a troll. And and her mom said, where did this, she goes, that's what does that to my bed, Mom. So there was a troll in her bedroom doing that. Why would you do that to a 4-year-old?
Yeah.
They're horrible little creatures. They really are.
Let's see. Oh, hello.
Wow.
Amy says, good morning, ladies. I have my seat on daily and have a dream bag. I know it keeps spirits from not being able to be that close and negative energy away, but I've had nightmares for over a week about this ex-mentor attacking me. He's in a dark robe. Any suggestions how to get him out of my dreams?
First of all, earthbound spirits do not get into dreams. So if this ex-mentor died and didn't cross over, it is not him. If he died and he went into the light, he wouldn't do that. A lot of times when somebody has really bad dreams, there's 2 reasons for it. One, there is an earthbound spirit in your room or where you're sleeping, and he's still alive. Okay. He could be sending you energy where you're dreaming badly, and and it's a hint that it's coming from him. But if you've got your seat on, you are totally protected. There is nothing he can do to you. I don't know how to tell you not to have dreams about him. I have no idea.
if you're local, Amy, Maria Cerna might be somebody to ask that. They're at the shop. Let's see. Do I know when the podcast coming out about the Stanley? It will either be next Wednesday or the Wednesday after.
Why don't we keep the two theaters together?
Okay, so 2 weeks from now.
No, 2 weeks from now, the Stanley, yeah. Because I don't want, if somebody didn't catch the first one on the theaters, I don't want, so let's do them in order.
Okay, so 2 weeks from now, guys, will be the Stanley. Let's see. Is the book club being held next week, and will Marianne be there? I could really use a Quincy for an upcoming medical procedure.
Yes, I will be there Tuesday. How to Survive Mercury Retrograde, which we are in right now. So this is a good time to do this. And yes, we will be there. You know, where they say, Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We will be there, and there will be charms and everything will be there with us. Yeah, absolutely. 7 o'clock next week.
At the store.
At Goddess Elite. Yep.
Yeah, and they want to watch my face as we're talking about the book. I'm going to admit, I haven't bothered reading that one. Gotta see the faces. And Marianne's now famous eye roll.
I'm going to start wearing the sunglasses. Oh, and the light went out again. Doggone it.
That's okay. You're still pretty lit up.
Yeah,
Karen says she can't wait for the WTF letters and see if we can make it through.
We are doing them on October 2nd. We are taping it. And I don't know when it'll be aired, but we are finally doing them October 2nd. I'll be at the store for a meet and greet. And right after that's over, we are going to go and do those letters.
Oh, okay. So speaking of some possible Mercury retrograde.
Oh, wait, you're learning how to do that with your eyes. Good job.
Brooke says, honestly, my daughter had Florida State testing this morning and it was a fiasco. They gave the kids all the wrong passcodes.
I'm telling you, this is just, yes, it's terrible. And this isn't as bad. Some of them are really horrible. This one is a little bit nasty, not as bad as it could be, but it's affecting a whole lot of people.
He said there were supposed to be prompts for webcams and there wasn't. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Divine says, I clicked it. It says, I'm later, but I shared your video with the Stanley Hotel. The people I shared it were excited about viewing it. So here's a fun thing. That video is now private, so they won't be able to see it. We were doing that live as we were going around. So it's coming down, and it's going to be edited into a podcast. So, and mainly because it was supposed to be podcast, but there was just... their Wi-Fi was not the greatest. It was weird. Like we could go down certain hallways and drop it, even though it said we would have signal. But yet when we went down the hill to go get dessert, because we wanted to say like we had like some food there. But let me tell you, a small cup of coffee was probably like $12 there. You know, so imagine what like platters, like a full meal. And we're like, yeah, no, nice try. But like, let's get dessert. And so walking down the hill and like sitting there, no problem, full Wi-Fi. So I'm like, they must not have this spaced out, or they're all on the same thing and then just buffer the little exception.
But keep this in mind too. Earthbound spirits disrupt energy too.
That's what I'm more going to lean towards that before I am a Mercury retrograde. So
between the combination of the two, I'm sure it has something to do with it. And Becky, if you're still listening, no, your idea is not going to fly. You're right. My eyes almost got stuck up in my head when I read that. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, welcome to Estes Park. You should have had a drink at the bar there. Neither one of us are real big drinkers, though the whiskey bar that's like downstairs in the Stanley, the guy that was in there, he had a really pretty dog. And like the closest I could describe his coloring, so I was trying to explain it before. It's like if you took like an Oreo milkshake and you mixed it up to where it's got like the grays, the blacks, and the whites, and it's just kind of, that's the color coding over the dog. And I'm like, oh, he's like a mixed up Oreo.
Oh,
he's really friendly.
actually, that's funny because my grandbaby fur dog is all mixed up with those colors too.
Oh, I'm like, oh, it was so pretty.
Yeah.
It was just friendly. He's like, hi.
Yeah, so is my grandfur baby. She's real friendly too.
Amy's like, please do more pop-up lives. That was exciting. You just have to find places and make sure it works, and make sure we won't get in trouble for doing it, for one. Let's see.
Yeah, we didn't really see, we saw housekeepers and we saw people going in and out of their rooms, but I didn't see anybody that looked like they had any authority running around on any of those halls.
No. And I purposely, when I went down the one set of like main stairs, that had like the pictures and the mirrors, that real pretty landing entryway. When you go down those stairs, right to the right as you go around is like the front desk. And I was purposely like, we're going to go this way over by the car.
But I would guess they're used to that. Everybody running around with their cell phones up trying to take pictures of something they can't see.
Yeah. But what had me kind of go, when we were getting ready to leave for the ghost tour, the guide, she's like, take all the pictures you want. We encourage pictures, flash photography, just do not do video. And then do the video up on YouTube. She's like, that is copywritten. And she goes, they will come and shut it down. And she goes, and I will lose my job. And I'm like, well, like she has any control over what people are doing with their phones. Why would she get fired? But, something about that ghost tour. So I'm like, well, maybe it's just the tour, and, they can't really do anything about us walking the hallways on our own and going around.
Well, if you're in trouble, I'm sure you'll hear about it.
Yeah, well, like, okay, fine. We took it down. So we
Yeah,
might see
right.
that last minute, like, hurry up and go listen to it. It's coming down in like 3 hours. Let's see. But while we were walking around doing that, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, this is kind of fun. And that just proves like we don't have to figure out how to get both of our schedules for both of us traveling at the same time.
That's right. You could go on the party bus by yourself.
No, that is not where we're going with this.
Oh, that worked right into it, though. That was good.
If I have that double-decker touring bus, you're coming with me.
I'll stay home.
Yeah, he's staying home. Good for him.
Let's see. Yes, and Karen said she can't wait for the carousel. So if you want to come see in person and have fun doing some ghost hunting, October 9th is when we're going to be at the Merry-Go-Round Museum in Sandusky. That has a lot of fun happenings there too.
It's so nice.
So yeah, come on out for that. We're a little more than half full, but there's always last minute people that jump in. So if you want to come and you're just kind of like, I can do it later, don't wait too long.
No, really. How's the winery coming? We're going to be back at John Chris Winery on the next week, Thursday, the 22nd.
Yeah. We have like 12 spaces left.
Whoa, okay.
So the cost of admission, $40 a person. Includes
44.
44. Includes the wine and the talk. You can bring your own snacks. We'll have some little snackies there too. But Marianne.
Am I wrong? Is it 40 or 44?
It's 40.
Oh, God.
We said 35, and then when they're like, "Hey, the bar,"
Oh, okay. Never mind. There's just
we had to, before we released it, we had to go up to 40 because of the bar.
that's right. Okay, gotcha. All right. I
See,
never
this time
mind.
I'm kind. You would
I'm
figure
so
this.
glad, Melissa, you take care of that end of it, believe me.
Where they want to know why we're calling out a party bus. So, months and months ago, somehow I got to talking about I
No,
found
it's Brooke. She's the troublemaker. Brooke wants us to come to whatever state she lives in. And you're going to jump a bus someplace and we're going to drive down. So it's going to have to be a party bus, right?
one of the local school districts to us was selling one of their buses. And I'm like, we could buy that bus and we could retro it, make it more comfy. We can go on tour. And then when we get really big, we can get one of those double-decker ones. We'll put a ghost on the side of it and go touring.
Don't you remember the Partridge Family running around in their bus?
Nah, that was before my time.
Okay, then. Nah, that's really way down the. Oh, never, Brooke, never.
And see, because we need the party bus to go down to Savannah.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. So yeah, we've got the Merry-Go-Round Museum on October 9th. We have the John Chris Winery on the 22nd, and that's a Thursday at 7. So usually the winery is closed, like their dining area, bar area is closed on Thursdays. So it's a special event. They're doing it just for us. So don't wait too long if you wanted to come out for that one.
And let me just give you a little hint. There's going to be a surprise there that night that you don't even know about, Melissa. Which
I was going to say, what?
Dear, yeah, you don't know about this. And it's only limited to 50 people, which means everybody's questions are going to get answered really, really well. And remember, nobody under 18, because we'll have more fun if there's no kids there.
That's right. So you can ask the more questions that are fun to us that make Marianne blush.
Here's some of those too.
Let's see. Bren says, my good friend passed away last year and I dream of him frequently. And each time he talks to me, he mentions that he faked his death. I know that's not true and he crossed over, but how would that work? Or why would he even say that?
I don't understand why he would even say that. Was that some kind of an ongoing maybe joke between the two of you?
Mm.
You know, that's a possibility. I mean, was that his sense of humor? I don't even know why he would say that. Personally, the next time you talk to him, I tell him to knock it off.
Right. Like be a little more serious here.
That's right.
Unless that was like an inside joke all the time.
That's the only thing I can figure.
Or if he ever joked about like one of these days I'm going to, just to prove that it is him.
Mm-hmm.
Renee says, my husband has come down with COVID even though he was vaccinated and boosted. Can bad health outcomes be part of Mercury retrograde?
I don't think so. I think more of the Mercury retrograde would be affecting in hospitals like the IV machines where they never quit beeping, and maybe having any kind of tests, electronic tests, anything, chest x-rays all the way up to being in the tube. So that would affect them. And Ted and I had all of our shots and we ended up with COVID too. So it does happen.
Mm-hmm. My son had the shots because he had 2 for OSU and he still got COVID.
Right.
And they were outside at a bonfire. So
yeah,
the virus, it mutates. It's kind of like the flu.
And, I was very sick in the hospital with it. Ted was not. He didn't even have a symptom. But at least because I got a little snarky with one of the doctors because I was so tired of being questioned. And I said something, oh, I'm so glad I had my shots. I mean, I was really not nice. And this doctor just took a beat and he says, well, at least you're not on a breathing machine. So yeah, I guess. You know what? I'm over it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the new thing.
Yeah, just get your shots when you're supposed to if you want to, and that's pretty much it.
So Kathy says I should buy the bus and we'll do the shuttling for parking at the winery. Because I was hearing by the end of the night that a lot of people wanted to come and the parking was so full they just left. Which, to be fair, though, there was a unplanned private party that just showed up and took up a bunch of the parking. So they, I did give them the side eye all night, like, you jerks. And then Divine just says, party with the Ghost Whisperers. We just make a party bus. You pay to get on the bus. Get to ask your questions. We'll come up with some other things.
Well,
as we're driving around the haunted places.
What is it? Napa Valley brought me out there to go on the wine train.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that, and it was a weekend, and so we did 2 tours on the train, and that's what we did. People asked questions on the train, and it turned out that I was actually supposed to walk from car to car and talk to people, because you can do that on a train. And it was like, oh, that was moving, and I'm not standing still on this one. So I sat and people came to me, and that worked out just fine.
Brooke says she is here for any kind of party at Divine.
I bet you are.
We have so many states. We have to go down to Florida to see Brooke. We're going to have to go to the DC area for Divine. We got to go to Savannah. We need a bus, Marianne.
When I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. When gas comes down to $1 a gallon, I'm in. I won't even say no. I'm in for $1 a gallon of gas.
Oh, and then we got to get Amy in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really need it to be $1 a gallon.
Let's see. Lornell asks, do people who cross over do the same things that Earthbounds can do, like slamming doors, locking doors, things like that?
They can get in and out of the house. And of course, if they're from the light, the sea doesn't stop them because they don't do anything bad. They don't, like, if you have a touch lamp, they can turn that on pretty easy. They can pat you on the cheek, but they don't do anything bad. They will not lock you out of a house. That's ridiculous. Why would they do that? Unless there's danger in the house that they don't want you to go into. If you've got a guy standing with a knife in your closet, they're not going to let you go in the house if there could be a problem. But no, it's very easy for them to change a television station if they want you to watch something that's going to remind you of them. How many people, when you're riding in your car listening to the radio, it's like our song and all of a sudden it comes on? Mm-hmm. They do that. So yeah, and holidays and things, birthdays, anniversaries, they show up for all of that. But no, they don't do anything bad.
Lola says, do I need to add anything to mugwort to make it effective for a dream bag?
No, mugwort is just fine if you can get it. Absolutely. Just put a couple tablespoons in a bag or a hanky and pull up the 4 corners and stick it between your pillowcase and your pillow. There's more things in my dream bag for a couple of reasons. A lot of people that have insomnia say that it really helps them sleep. And a lot of people say that now that they're getting older, they're having a harder time remembering things. And I don't know why, but some people have said that it really helps them focus and remember too. So I always pop a seed inside one. So in case you do have earthbound spirits in your house, at least with that under your pillow, they're not bothering you while you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Margie says, I'll pay for your gas.
Oh, no, 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 no.
I'll pitch in for gas and bring snacks.
No, 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 no.
Tell
And
you,
Margie,
we got ways around this.
You were supposed to be at the winery. I missed you there.
And fundraising for gas.
Oh, a fundraiser for gas. Oh, great.
We're going to find all the ways to make this work, Marianne.
Yeah.
See, and Brooke's like, we can do a GoFundMe for the party bus.
Yeah, don't know. No.
And Melanie says she would donate to that in a heartbeat.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you so much.
Yep, everybody's willing to help make this happen, Marianne.
And I bet the only restriction would be that they will help only if we go to their house.
Well, I mean,
that would be part of it, right?
Yeah, that's kind of like the whole Patreon thing. Like, if you donate X amount, then we come see you in person. We pick you up first, and then we go around and grab the other people.
Jess and I did that. We took a road trip from Ohio through 17 different states down to Florida. And we did houses in every state. And it's very tiring. It really is. But we did it. And we were way younger than we are now. And it was tiring. I don't know. I would have to have a really good bed in there so I could sleep most of the time.
Most of the trip. I mean, I was, bus for local, within so many hours. But, in my mind, it could be something like where we fly in, rent like a small theater or something, tickets are sold, that pays for the trip there and back, type of thing. But that's where it's like we would need to have more friends, fans, whatever you want to call, in these different places that want to come listen to us banter and banter back with us.
Which people have done in Michigan. People have done that in Illinois, where they've gotten a group together and we've gone out for a weekend and did either a talk, a couple of those when I was doing the negative energy workshop, I did those out of state. And so, yeah, if there's enough people and it would just be so expensive now to even rent a hotel. It's expensive. What?
It depends on the hotel. And I'm like, nope, we don't want to get dinged for that one. Just keep in mind what hotel you're staying in. So yeah. Like, this one that we're in is like a mini apartment, and for 4 nights, it's $100 more for 4 nights than the 1 night at the Stanley.
Yeah.
So
well, you don't have ghosts running around in here though, right?
If I did, I was so tired last night, I didn't care.
No, it's pretty vacant.
Yeah. And honestly, like the whole time in the Stanley, I did wake up at one point because I heard the door flex or move, but that door, humidity, whatever. But the deadbolt would not lock or line up. So you had your regular like car key lock, but it was still like moving and flexing. I'm like, that's going to keep me up. So I wanted to slide the deadlock and like keep it in place. It would not. You would lock it and it'd pop back because it wouldn't slide the whole way. So then it was like putting the chain across to keep the door from moving. And my first thought was like the humidity, it's not hung right. And the fact that in the original, the old part, the historic part, there is not central air in those rooms. So they have portable air conditioners, which means they have these vent hoses that are like this big that are going right out the window. So your window is open, so you're competing with cold air and warm air, and there's nothing to keep anything from coming in. So I'm like, there's breezes in this door that's right across. I didn't even think of a ghost. I was just like, yeah.
Yes, but you didn't think of a ghost. But how about the room next to you or on the other side of you? And that was happening. They got up in the morning and called their kids back at home and said, there was a ghost all night banging on the door. Don't tell me people aren't saying that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they are. And I'm sure they're going, yeah.
Uh-huh, right.
See, let's see. Let's start at this fun thing here. So fundraiser across the way, make a fee for gas if you want us to show up. Let's see. Amy says Rice Krispie treats and brownies. Okay, for everyone on the bus for snacks. She's going to bring sugar for you for the diabetics. Brooke's like, heck yes. Karen says, Brooke, you're in charge of the Jesus puke.
Gosh.
So see, I'm telling you, they're going to coordinate this for us. There's spare bedrooms, and it's just what we do. There was a question. Let me go find it. It was one of our friends on Twitch. It says, what makes you remember better? So here's a fun thing. Rosemary actually helps improve memory. And there's actually science about behind it now. Like they finally did some results to test the woo-woo behind it. And when you're inhaling and it's rosemary oil or dried rosemary, and actually the oil does a little better because of the way it's, when you inhale it going up in through the olfactory, like getting up into the brain, it triggers things in the brain. So it actually helps with memory. So if you're somebody that you're a bad test taker, while you're studying, if you inhale rosemary and then the day of the test, just put some rosemary like on a cotton ball or something. So I'm sure they're not going to let you go sniff in a bottle, but put some rosemary in a cotton ball that you can run your hand on, that you can then kind of like, smell it. It's going to help trigger that type of stuff. But rosemary oil helps with memory, and it's been scientifically proven. They validated some of our woo-woo stuff there. Brooke says, I'm not Catholic, and I can't make Jesus puke happen. He's got the pink stuff to help clean it up. Take out a few rows of seats and put up a cot and then put a curtain up.
There you go. Yeah, we could do that. Not a problem.
Let's see. Oils will also not have the allergic response if you have allergies. So it tends to be a little easier on the system for some people, the essential oils.
Well, that's the same thing with my mugwort dream bags. If the odor bothers you, if they go into a Ziploc bag, you won't smell it, but they still work 100%. So I've done work in Canada, Amy. They're very strict about what you do in Canada. Let me tell you.
And Brooke says she can get the Voban to happen. So we'll have Voban.
There's that. Now, how did you find out that was the name of that?
Well, remember the first time we talked about it, Ben, he's a teacher. And
that's right. I
forgot about that. In the school.
Right.
Karen says, I'm a Catholic. I'll go to confession first.
Now, you need to go to confession after, not before.
Nah.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than to get permission.
Let's see. Amy says, I hate to bring it back to leprechauns again, but I know a lady who lives out here on a farm, and a leprechaun is terrorizing her and her children and dogs. Anything I can tell her to get that thing away? The kids can't sleep anymore.
Seriously, you tell her to get the solution for the little folk. Oh, that's not the right bottle. If she uses this, it's in a little blue bottle about this big. And if she does what she has to do once a month for 6 months, it'll clear the house and they will never be able to come back in. But it's something she has to do. Tell her to go to my website and look up Little Folk Solution, and it will explain everything. But that's absolutely what she needs. Because I'm sure her kids are petrified. I believe me, I know.
And Valerie says, after my uncle died, I was cleaning out his trailer and lights were turning off and on and the plastic bags were moving on their own. Do you think he was upset?
Well, if he was dead and you were cleaning out his trailer, the only thing that he could have been upset about is what a lot of older folks get upset about when their kids clean out their houses when their parents die. They throw everything out, and it really upsets them because they thought that everybody wanted all their stuff. So maybe your uncle is a little upset that you're throwing out some stuff or you're giving something to somebody that he didn't want them to have. But that would be the only way without without a phone call from the place. I really wouldn't know for sure.
Which October 14th is the next time we have room on a Zoom. So if there's anybody who feels like you might have spirits in your house and you want to know for sure if you have earthbounds, the Zoom is the way to do it. So the 14th, it is limited attendance, so it's not like it's broadcasted out like this is. So only you and the others that have paid to be there, Marianne and myself, will be there. But pretty much all I have to do, it's an easy night for me. I just mute and unmute and call names.
Oh, I pull you in every now and again.
Now and then, but not too often. Me turn off my don't bother me for an hour just turned off, so I know we're after around 11. So that is a way to find out if you have ghosts at home. A couple of rules: nobody under the age of 18, and you have to be in the building that you have questions about, because that's where Marianne is looking into through Zoom with the camera. So don't be at work asking about home. Can't work. Were those the only two?
I think so. Well, I'll be in the store on the 2nd from 1 to 5, and then after that is when we're doing the letters that we're going to be taping to be aired at some point. I don't know where, when, or how yet. That's not my job, so I don't know.
I'm like half reading, half listening. Like, what?
Yeah, that's your job, not mine. I wonder if Lewis is at the funeral for the Queen.
I bet you.
Yeah, I bet he is too. Yeah,
Lewis.
I thought about that. I bet he's standing in that line for 30 hours to pay his respects.
What did they say? See, and then we got to put flotation devices on the party bus so it can float across the pond, and we have to go see Lewis.
Oh, so I'm so glad you said that. So now I know this is all not going to happen.
We're bringing the party bus, and we got to make sure we have enough snacks to make it across the pond. We're all going to go see Lewis. Judy is like, what is Jesus mean?
Oh, no. Tune in next Wednesday. We'll talk about it then. No, not today. I can't do puke again.
And Brooke says, I worked at Disney World, and Vauban is what we use to clean up the non-Jesus Disney puke.
Okay.
And thank you, Amy, asking. Please hit like, subscribe, share, all the things. That's how we get enough friends to maybe actually start going other places. Both of us together, not just one of us traveling around. And thank you. Hit like and share. Okay, sounds good, Margie. You'll see us on the 2nd.
Great. Okay.
Thank you, like, subscribe, and ring Jay that bell, y'all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Frog Lady says, my grandson's toy that does the hand and feet, yellow colors and numbers. I don't know where it's a peekaboo. I love you. But okay. Her follow-up question is, it says everything it's ever supposed to, but never I love you. I think maybe that's just a programming issue on the toy and not anything supernatural.
Yeah, I don't, no clue.
Long story, need another hour. Yeah. For the Jesus puke story.
Yeah,
I don't even remember how far back that started.
That was a long time ago.
But I do know that Debbie Dross Funny, the local artist, she's like, if we had enough pre-orders, she's like, I'll make that card, I'll make that shirt, I'll make that bag. So I'm gonna have to touch base with her and be like, how many is the minimum?
Yeah. And how do I have to be reminded every time I pick up my purse that it says it on the outside of my purse? Remember, I go into churches. I can't do that.
I think it would be low key funny, like if your little purse, your little canvas bag just said that, and just see if they comment on it. Like, so what's that about? And you're like, well, what had happened was.
You know, I'm not the only person that went to Catholic grade school and saw that. Why is everybody acting like they have no idea what I'm talking about?
Oh, but good time. See, we enjoy these type of.
Yeah, I can see that.
frequency.
I see that. I see how that goes. So,
Renee says she's with you. She understands.
yeah, thank you, Renee. I appreciate that.
But yeah, if you haven't had a chance to listen to the episode for the podcast that released this morning, it is available. Next week will be the second part. And the week after that is when the Stanley Hotel will go up. So it'll give me a little more time to piece that one together. Because like I said, that one's going to take a little more editing time just to piece everything out and put in the little disclaimer. Like, there are people walking behind me at times in the hallways. Those aren't ghosts. And
Right.
like that. So if you can wait 2 weeks, then you'll be able to listen to the Stanley Hotel podcast episode. And I'm sure that morning will be all about that fun thing.
I think so.
All right. Well, Marianne, you got any last minute?
No, I think we're good. I think we're good till next Wednesday. And, you be safe out there collecting your stones and rocks. Have a good time while you're out there.
To go buy more rocks for the next couple of days and build a pallet.
Send it back this way.
Yes. Be back there Saturday, late afternoon, early evening, touching down back at the Cleveland.
And you leave that state at 3:00 in the morning?
Yeah, we're already thinking like we're just not going to go to bed Friday night. The flight leaves at something like 5:30 in the morning, and they want you there at 2, or at 2 hours ahead, which means 3. And then you got to drop your car off and be shuttled for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to sleep either.
And then just with the time changes and stuff and landing, and then, being picked up and your luggage and like,
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're better off staying awake because you would fall asleep for sure and miss it.
Yeah, because just sleeping on the plane, like I can do it sometimes, but like on the flight down, there was a very friendly gentleman on the one side, but he was a rather large fellow. So I spent most of my flight like kind of sitting half like this, like half in Scott's chair, just because I'm like, well, my back's going to love this by the end of 3 hours. But I mean, he was rather nice, just, I'm like, well, okay, can't sit normally. So yeah, I never count on sleeping on the plane because you never can guarantee that you can do it.
That's why I always get a window seat so I can get a blanket and put it over my head and leave me alone. And I will sleep.
I like being close to the aisle because I want to get my shit and get off the plane.
Yeah, nah, doesn't make any difference to me. I'll be the last one off, and by then my luggage will be there. So
yeah, I'm making up my carry-on and out. All right.
So you have a good rest of your trip, and we'll see everybody next Wednesday. Have a great week, everybody.
All right. Yep. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.